What does nostalgia feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? Now, all of us are going to have different answers to those questions. But if you're Patrice, the answer might be kimchi. She grew up making kimchi with her mom at the end of every summer, and today she runs her own kimchi making business here in Washington, D.C. Regardless of your personal experiences, all of us in our lives have felt nostalgia. And documentary filmmaking at its best can guide an audience to a specific emotion. That was my goal with this project. First, share Patrice's story, and second, bring viewers in by making them feel nostalgia. I love kimchi. I've been buying it for years, and I've been buying from Patrice for over a year now. We first met at a farmer's market, and even in that first meeting I got the sense that her business was deeply personal to her. I looked her up and I found that her slogan is "Spread the Love of Kimchi," and I just love that. I think it perfectly sums up her business, and it's just such a good sentiment. So I reached out, we got to talking, and from there we were ready to go into production. I shot this project over the course of about 2 weeks. I spent 5 days shooting with Patrice and then a couple days getting pickup stuff, B-roll, things like that. And my setup for all of this was my super agile run and gun rig. So first of all, I have my Lumix S5 with a monitor on. Usually we'll put an ND filter on the lens so that I can control the light more. For audio, I have 2 Rode Wireless Go lavalier mics. What's cool about these mics is that they come with a receiver, but the transmitters also record internally. So if you're in a pinch and you have to mic someone up really quick, you just throw a mic on them and forget about it. I also always have a shotgun mic just for options, to pick up room noise, things like that. And I have it set up to where I can switch between my shotgun mic and my lav mics. So if I'm covering a scene like this kitchen one, for example, I have Patrice mic'd up with a lav mic, and then I have my shotgun mic on the camera. That way I'm getting both audio from her voice as well as audio from the room. If she breaks into a spontaneous conversation with someone across the room, I'm covered. I always make sure I have my headphones to monitor my audio, and I always pack a tripod just in case I want to get some cool stable shots. For this project though, I want to say I did about 90% handheld, and that was really just to taste. I wanted to give this a very natural feel. So that's my super bare bones rig, and there's 2 main benefits to it. First of all, it's very light. It's not a big pain for me to carry it around. And second, more importantly, it lets me get a lot closer to my participants. In my projects, I want to capture things as they happen. I want to capture people as they are. And showing up with a huge camera rig, a bunch of gear, a bunch of people, I feel that that just gets in the way of me and my participant. The fewer moving parts, the better, because being on camera itself is already a lot harder than you think. This running gun setup also works for capturing B-roll, which I did for this project. These shots of the kimchi I captured 3 times in my apartment. The first time I was trying to emulate a natural sunlight look, did not like how it turned out. So then the second and third times I went for softer lighting, and I think those are more successful. Another thing I shot at home were these archival photos. I had Patrice send me a childhood photo, I found some other stuff on her Instagram that she had posted, and I basically just filmed my phone screen. When you film the phone screen, you get a little bit of light reflection, and I think that really added to the mood. You'll also notice in this video I have a bunch of whip transitions, and those were inspired by this slow shutter effect that I did throughout the video. So this slow shutter effect is becoming very popular. I think a little bit too popular. But if you do it with intention, I think it can work. So for example, in this kitchen scene, I wanted to capture the fast-paced nature of making kimchi. And slowing my shutter down gave me more motion blur, which contributed to that feeling of a fast pace. A lot of my projects in the past I've shot in just 1 or 2 days. So having a longer shoot was a challenge. First of all the stuff that comes with scheduling, managing energy levels, things that I've talked about on this channel before. But from an aesthetic perspective, I also wanted to maintain consistency across the different days. So that's why it really helped to be clear on the purpose of this video and the mood that I was trying to create. Across all of these shoots, I always knew this is a piece about Patrice's personal connection to kimchi, and the mood we're going for is nostalgia. I always kept those 2 things running in my head, and they really helped me shoot consistently across these 5 days. So onto post-production, where it was my first time using DaVinci Resolve for a short documentary. I've been curious about DaVinci for a while, and I know that the best way to learn is by doing, so I thought I would do an experiment for this piece. DaVinci Resolve is known for its color grading tools, and that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to experiment with it for this project. Again, to get that feeling of nostalgia, I wanted to color grade my footage to look more film-like, and DaVinci has a bunch of great tools for that. It was a little bit of a learning curve in the beginning, coming from Premiere, but I'm really happy with the result. Now, the focus of my edit was on audio. This was so important in creating that nostalgic feeling that I was going for. I recorded a bunch of my own sound effects using my boom mic and my sound recorder, and for music I enlisted the help of my good friend Michael. He did such a good job, and because we've worked together before, I didn't have to give him much to get out what I wanted. I just told him I want the music to feel like a warm hug. And he crushed it. The focus of documentary filmmaking is always to stir emotions. And to that end, you can do a lot with a little. This project required minimal gear, and it was not a huge time commitment. But I think through the right mixture of access, visuals, sound effects, and music, I captured that nostalgic feeling that I set out to. Hopefully you feel the same way, and if you haven't seen the video yet, go check it out, let me know what you think. Big thank you to Patrice, Michael, and everybody else who made this project possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.